with Chris Reardon.
Evening, gang. It's a Sunday night, Sunday the 18th of July 2021. A very good evening to you, and welcome to tonight's little chat show, coming to you from Bracknell in Royal Berkshire. As it's been hot, and yes, the sunflowers are back. The sunflowers are back, and let's just have a better look at that without the email address. There we are. Sunflowers are back, gang, and as always, thanks very much to Adam the Plumber for buying this one, as well as the what's the other one he's bought me? The flamingo. I've got a flamingo shirt as well. So yeah, lovely shirts on this very hot day. Have you been hot where you are? I'm very lucky here. I've got two lots of air conditioning. One in this little room here. It's beautiful and cool in here, and in my bedroom as well. Where I have a little sleep in the afternoon. We've got a couple of emails in, messages in already, actually. Hello to Mike in Brighton. Good evening, Mike, who says, finally getting to join you live tonight with only 3 hours sleep. Well, you see, the trouble is Mike worked shifts, and I don't think I'd ever like to work shifts. I've always worked just nights or just days, and at one point both. That was a bit tiring, but I was a lot younger then, like 27, 26, 20, about 20, how old was I? 23. I was 23, 24, 25 when I was doing days and nights, with a couple of hours sleep here and a couple of hours there. I wouldn't like to do it again. But to do sometimes days and sometimes nights, that must be a real killer, Mike. I don't know how you do it. I really don't know how you do it. Anyway, he says, only 3 hours of sleep. The swing from nights to day with only 1 day off is a killer. Yeah, I mean, I feel for you. I would rather do nights or days. You know, I think the preference would be nights. I think I prefer to work nights. Funny, isn't it? He said, I thought I'd have a change and have chocolate Viennetta for breakfast. Very delicious and naughty. Don't tell me you've had a whole one. You greedy bastard. Have you had a whole one? A whole chocolate Viennetta? Blimey. Shocking. You have, haven't you? I bet you have had a whole chocolate Viennetta. Mind you, not much different to my mate coming round this afternoon for lunch. Oh, I had... and they're a good price. Do you know the large tubs? There's the same size as the Ben & Jerry things. Cadbury's chocolate and vanilla ice cream. It's like a vanilla ice cream on the outside, and in the middle they've got this chocolate. Now, it's not the same as the Ben & Jerry's Kama Sutra, I think it is, which is like a vanilla ice cream one side, chocolate ice cream the other side, and going down the middle is this toffee. That's my nephew's wife's favourite ice cream. I think it's Kama Sutra, something like that. That's delicious. It's not the same as that. This is like a vanilla ice cream with like a chocolate bit going down the middle, but I don't think it's ice cream. And it's not toffee. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's delicious. £2.75 in the co-op at the moment. That's really nice. Well, I bought one for us to have as a pudding this afternoon. He's and he went in just after we finished dinner. I said, I'm just going to freezer. He said, I'll get it out. So we got out that one. And he said, oh, look what I found. And he found another half of one. And so I'll be honest with you, I don't remember having half of that, but it must have done at some point. I must have done it at some point. Well, he's bought them both out. Right? So I said, you're not having both of them? He said, oh, well, I'll just leave it here. So, you know, I've got the new one, which we opened up, and after a while waited for it to soften, which didn't take too long at all, actually. Waited for this to soften. And out came the spoon, and I pulled out my half and put it in a bowl, gave him the other half. And I had my half, he had it, and then he picked up the other one. So, I mean, he's the same as you. He's had a whole bleeding tub of that ice cream. What's that, 500 millilitres? Whatever that is. I don't know what it is, millilitres. Something foreign, isn't it, darling? I mean, ounces, I mean, if you say 16 ounces, I understand that. What's a millilitre? I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was one of those things that crawls along the ground with loads of legs. A millilitre in it. Is that a millilitre? All those legs. It's not natural, is it? Having all those legs. I found a few actually the other day. Where my caravan is up in Lincolnshire, I have this fake grass over the top. And I read somewhere in a magazine or on the internet last week that you should never put pots on top of the fake grass because it holds the water under the pot, you see. You're okay putting the fake grass, if it's the right sort, you know, where the water goes straight through, on top of the wood, right? But you mustn't put a pot on top of the fake grass, on top of the wood, or even a pot on top of the wood, because it rots. And I thought, I'll just check this. Anyway, I pulled it back, moved all the pots off, and I pulled it back. Where it was just grass, it was bone dry, so that was fine. Where the pots would be, it was soaking wet. Soaking wet. So there you go. That just shows you, doesn't it? You know. So I've moved all the pots now off the veranda, and there was quite a lot on there, onto the floor bit there. I don't want to fall through it, especially with my weight, darling. I don't know how that veranda manages to carry my weight even while it's not wet. While it's not soggy and bouncing up and down. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Do you like a little bit of a bounce? I reckon Mark Bowles likes a little bit of a bounce. Good evening, Mark. I hope you're well this morning. There's a little picture of Mark with his United Kingdom talk badge on, sitting there proudly with that badge on. Do you wear that to football matches, Mark? Do you wear that top to football matches with your badge on there, my love? Yeah? Can you take the badge off if you're going to start kicking the hell out of people? I don't want them to come running here. Oh, one of your viewers has been beating us up. Well, it's got nothing to do with me, mate. You know, beating people up when he goes to those football matches. I mean, if you do that, do send us a little video of that. I think I'd be quite like to see you in action, something like that, to be honest, Mark. All right. As I say, I've had a busy day today. I got up around about 7. Just woke up at 7, really. Last night, I went into London to Christ, what's the name of the place now? It's a really nice area, actually. What's the name of the area? Just a minute. See if I've got it here still. I might not have it on here now. It was not King's Cross. Crouch End. Went to Crouch End last night, just to see. There was a venue that were interested in having a little bit of a karaoke night, and so I jumped in the car to meet the lady and the owner. And I got there, very young and trendy, and they had a DJ there who didn't start till 10. I got there about 8:30 for 9:30. You know what I'm like with appointments, dear. I'm there at the crack of dawn, an hour before. I'd rather that than be late. Number one, it was difficult to park. You couldn't park right outside. There's like one space outside and a disabled space behind. So I probably wouldn't be able to park outside. But that's okay because they had speakers there, powered speakers. So you don't need speakers, don't need an amplifier, don't really need much. So that would have been all right, to be honest. So I had to park up this rather steep hill. It's really very, very affluent around there, I'm telling you. You can always tell. Number one, no rubbish on the streets. Right? The houses were quite large. And I look at the cars outside the houses, and they're all like Land Rovers and Audis and things like that. Up the steep hill. I came down the hill after I parked. I thought to myself, I wonder if that car will roll back while I'm out. Anyway, got there about 8:30, went in there and waited for the lady. She turned up, and the owner was supposed to get there about 9:30. He didn't get there till about 5 to 10, but that's okay, you know. I'm kind of taking in the atmosphere, and I'm chatting away to them, and I didn't feel it. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't feel it, and if I don't feel it, I won't take the job. And I got back in the car and I thought, well, I'll leave it till tomorrow. And then this afternoon, actually, I sent a lady a text. I said, thanks very much. They weren't sure either. They're like, can you guarantee that this will work? And I'm like, no, I can't guarantee it will work. I can't guarantee anyone will turn up. You never know. You never know. It's just one of those things. And that's the only, you can have a successful night, whether it's DJing, karaoke, in a theatre, on the television, and suddenly no one comes. There's no reason for it. This happened Friday. Happened Friday with the karaoke. The weirdest thing. You know, the Friday we've been doing Friday nights karaoke, it's been going fine. Reasonably busy. Every week's been busy. We've done, I think, about 8 now, 8 or 9, okay, since we've been back there. And then Friday came, 7:30, okay. DJ Chris was there, right. A little bit later on, Alex turned up, right. And that was it. 2 people. Now, there were other people there who wanted to do the karaoke, but they were upstairs in the garden and it was hideously hot up there. To be honest, down in the basement, it's not hot. We have got very cold air in there if required, but of course we can't really turn that on at the moment because if there's any virus in there, it will blast it all about the place. And you know this Delta variant's a little bit out of control at the moment and all that business. I'll probably be still wearing a mask in shops and things. You do what you think is necessary, you know. Don't take the piss out of people that are wearing masks if they want to. Don't be silly. You know, don't be one of those people. If they want to wear a mask, let them wear them. If they want to wear gloves, you know, if they want social distancing, for Christ's sake, don't bleed and grab them. You know, just let them get on with it. I'm one of those. I prefer the social distancing and the mask. Thank you very much. I'll carry on doing that. You do what you think is right. If you want to throw your mask away and just run riot naked through a church or something, then feel free, you know. Yeah, so we can't really turn on the air conditioning. But that being said, it's not really hot down there because it's under, you know, if it filled up with people, I suppose it would be. And there were two people there, Alex and DJ Chris, for some reason, until round about 10 to 10. At which point the people who were in the garden closes at a certain time. I think it's about 9:30, 10:45. And then they then came down. But it was only another like 6 of those. And it's the weirdest thing. And sometimes that happens. You know, you can have a successful thing, tick it over very, very nicely, thank you very much, and then bang, dead. And sometimes there's no rhyme or reason for that, but that's how it is. And I was explaining that to the bloke last night. He didn't really understand the concept of karaoke, strangely enough. And he's running a bar. And I said, well, how does it work? I said, well, people choose a song and they get up and they sing a position which I would recommend would be next to the DJ. That seems to be the rough position. And they had a big screen up there. He said, oh, I thought you put the words on the screen and kind of everyone got up and sang. I said, well, that happens. People singing, and if the words are on bigger screens, then they just join in. That's how karaoke works sometimes. You know, some people are really funny about people joining in. They think they're like a great big star or so. I've had that before. You know, can you ask them not to join in, please? It's supposed to be a fun night. There are people who take karaoke very, very seriously. I tell you that. They usually turn up at my place once and they don't come back again because I just take the mick all the time. No, I don't take the mick out of people singing. You'd never see me do that. Never. But you know what I mean. They want to be serious. Oh, can you do this? Can you turn that light on? Oh, Christ. It's a fun night. That's what I do. I do a fun night. And that's it. And I was explaining this to him, and he's like, well, can you guarantee that, you know, have you got a crowd? Will people go? I don't know. And in the end, I thought, oh, no, I don't think I want to do this. I'm not feeling it at all. It's too much pressure, really. And I thought, no, I won't bother. So I sent a lovely lady, and she's a lovely lady, Bernadette, her name is. She's actually doing a night there as well, like a singing night, but the singers are already there, 2 or 3 singers, you know, she's doing that on Thursday, so good luck to her. And I said, thank you very much, but I'll pass on this one. So that's where that one was. And the other one, actually, the one in East London, they've had to put that one on hold, unfortunately, the other one, because half the staff have got COVID and they're struggling to cope. Oh, you can't win, can you? So that's where I am at the moment with that. All right. So after that last night, and I got back here, stopped at Subway on the way. I say Subway, the petrol garage, the SO petrol garage at the beginning of the M4s. And they got a Subway in there. Miserable bastard in there who does it. Oh, he's so miserable, you know. Yes. Two fellas. One's all right, and one's a bit, you know, a bit abrupt. He is, and I'll tell him at some point, you know, don't be so blimmin' rude to your customers, otherwise we'll go elsewhere. But the problem is, he'll probably say, we'll go elsewhere, one of those sort of people, you know. What can you do? So I had a vegetarian Subway. They're really nice. They're quite spicy. They've got these, like, square things, and they're very, very spicy. Really, really nice. So that's that. Had that on the way home, got back here. I think I brushed my teeth, basically, and went straight to bed. I haven't seen Casualty yet from Saturday night. That was back yesterday, wasn't it? And got up this morning, about 7, had my breakfast, did a bit of a litter pick, quite a large litter pick, actually. Did a litter pick, done that, got back here about 20 to 10, did the church thing on the television, which we do every week. Then after that, went swimming this morning. Empty pool. There's only 3 of us in there. There was me. I met my mate there. It was me, my mate, and we did. There was 3 of us in the middle lane. I cannot get to blooming 60 lengths. 58. I'm getting to 58, and what happens? The boy then comes down the little steps and then stands at the end, which means out you get. So I never wait. It's a bit unfair. You know what some people are like. You know, they want to swim to the... I'm sorry, we got another minute. Now he's ready. Just go. Just blooming go. And I look at him. I must say, the Bracknell Leisure Centre, I'm very pleased to say, is supplying a very nice selection of boys for us to ogle at. You know, as me and my mate are going up and down. What do you reckon on that one, Ron? This one today was rather tanned. He was rather tan, probably about 24, 25, sitting up there. And they got these little shorts. Well, you can see... I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away now. So that's quite nice to do. I'm always disappointed when there's a girl up there. Oh. You know, and I said to Ronnie, I said, can you go and ask them? Can we have a boy up there to look at, please? I mean, it's a bit much. This girl's up there. This blonde one come in. There were 2 lads up there. There was one up there and his mate. They were talking to each other. And this blonde girl comes along, you know, one of the girls who works in the swimming pool. And she was clearly trying to get off with one of them. Clearly trying to get off. I had a good mind to say, excuse me, would you get on with your work? Leave the boys alone. We're looking at them. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Bye-bye. Cheeky cow, honestly. So we did that and then went back to my place. No, actually, we went... Where did we go then? We went over to his house because I'd lent him my lawnmower. Well, I say lent him my lawnmower. Can you come and cut my grass? He ain't got one. I ain't got a lawnmower. And I've got a little bit of a problem with the lawnmower at the moment, which I'll tell you about in a moment or two. So we picked up the lawnmower from his house, put that in his car, and we brought it back round to here. We stopped at the Co-op to get some rolls and some ice cream, as mentioned earlier. And then come back here. I did some dinner. We had chips. He had 2 halloumi burgers from Aldi, which are delicious. Oh, boy, nice they are. Halloumi burgers from Aldi, highly recommended. I had 2 sort of not much of each item. So I had 2 sausages and 3 corn nuggets, which were nice, with some chips and a heap of vegetables, followed by some ice cream and a bread roll. That was nice. So I'm quite nice. Tonight, I've got hot dogs tonight again. Aldi hot dogs. Oh, you got to get them. Oh, you got to try those. They're delicious. Vegan hot dogs. And you boil them, you wouldn't notice a difference. Please don't say, oh, I can tell the difference. I'm a real man. I only eat meat. Oh, do me a favour. Bleeding alpha males. Go and watch something else, darlings. Please. or don't. I'm barely holding on to the people that we've got here at the moment. We might do a raffle tonight. Might do a raffle tonight. Okay. You want one of those, don't you? Look at that. Go lovely on your new electric car. Please don't price it on a petrol car. I don't want to be involved with people who burn fossil fuels. Yes, Extinction Rebellion. Stick my hand against the lamppost immediately, thank you. So we'll do a raffle for a sticker later on. And while we were having our dinner, we watched another episode of Merlin, which I'm enjoying very much. This was the one... Which is this one? This was the one where the dead man rises from the dead and sword fights with... Well, he's supposed to sword fight with King Arthur, but he didn't sword fight with King Arthur. He ended up sword fighting with Uther, who had a magic sword, but he didn't realise he had a magic sword, so the bloke's dead. You know, you're not supposed to be able to kill the dead, because they're already dead, but he was. He did able to kill them. So watch that. And then we went to work on my lawnmower. And basically, it was having trouble turning. You know, you go like that, and it's not happening. And I thought, there's something's got to be wrapped around there. And I'd have to go in there, literally with it on, quite dangerous this, and with the screwdriver, just help it start, and then it was able to turn. Anyway, we turned it upside down. And you could see all this stuff wrapped around the spindle. And we've been trying to get the damn blade off. Oh, I've been trying before to do it on my own, with no success at all. This thing is just stuck. It's stuck. It's not rusted. Well, it looks a bit rusty, but it's not actually rusted on. So this blade is so difficult to turn. And the nut is quite narrow, like thin. if you see what I mean. And I haven't got the tool that they give you with the lawnmower. It's quite an old lawnmower. It's a Qualcast Cobra 32. Quite old now. Nearly time to replace it. But, you know, I thought, well, I'll give it a go. So I've been using both an adjustable spanner and... what are these called? Plumber's thing. Mole grips. And on my own, it's just impossible because you try and do that, and of course the blade is turning as well, and you're nightmare, and the thing flies off and it bangs your knuckles. Oh, so painful. So I told my mate, I said maybe if one of us holds the blade and the other one, and I'm not having it. It's just not happening. We tried to do that as well. Anyway, he did it on his own. I hate to say it because he's more queenie than I am. Much more queenie and precious than I am, right? But he was able to do it, and we managed to get the blade off. There we are, that's the blade. And I thought I'd take the opportunity as it's off, and I ordered a new... I mean, look, no cut on my finger. I think it's black. Look at the state of that now, look. All right. So I've ordered a new one for £14. I love the smell of grass on there. I ordered a new one for £14. I don't think they make that mower anymore. I've had to get a compatible one. You couldn't order that, so I went on the internet, and funny, I typed in Qualcast 32 lawnmower blade, and these things were coming up. Well, they didn't look like this one. They didn't look like this at all. These other ones had like 3 smaller holes in them. And this, as you can see, has got a big hole. Hello. A big hole and 2 little ones in there. So I then looked at images, you know, on the Google images, and I found something that looked the same. So I've ordered that. £12. Oh, £16 with a bleeding postage. Are you for real? I mean, usually that sort of thing, I'll get that on Amazon, but I couldn't find that. Something that looks like that on Amazon. So I've ordered that, and we'll put that back together. While we were doing that, we took the opportunity to actually take the other bits off because we could see all grass in. And this motor was just covered in grass under there. What a state it was. So I got the hoover out and we pulled around and that sort of thing, and that was it. Put it back together. We thought we'd test it out, and I pushed the button and it still wouldn't turn. It still wouldn't turn. But if you shake the lawnmower, it starts turning, and once it's going, it goes, right? You go, and nothing's happening. And it should go, don't do that. So you do that, and then you shake the lawnmower a bit, which seems to get it going, and then once it's going, you know. I mean, why replace it? I think maybe the next time it breaks, I think I might get a new one. But yeah, ordered a new blade. That must have been on there at least 10 years anyway. You know, so time to replace that. So we did that, by which time it was about 4:30, which is so late for me. I'm usually in bed about 3 o'clock. And I went to bed, and that's why I know some of you look for the advert for the show, which usually comes up sometimes in the morning or early afternoon, and it didn't go up there till about 7 o'clock tonight, did it? 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight, and that's why it was so late, because I just got really busy doing stuff today. So that was my day. Well, my weekend, actually. It's been quite a nice... It's been all right this weekend. I was so disappointed Friday. So disappointed. Because, of course, to do the karaoke, I've come down, like, from Lincolnshire. And that starts on Thursday. I've got to tell you, when I'm going to leave the caravan, I start on Thursday. In actual fact, last week, I spent some time updating the song database because I discovered that there were some songs missing. And the reason is, when I got the new computer, I got the bloke who sorts it all to put all the songs on, I forgot. Right, so I've got all the songs on, but I hadn't put on the other songs, extra songs that I'd bought over a period of years. Okay? Now, I got this computer back, and my 2 backup discs, I immediately got the 2 backup discs, one after the other, you know, backup 1, backup 2, plugged them in and copied all the songs from the new computer, overwriting the old ones. Right? I thought, oh no. So you've got songs missing But you've already gone over the backup discs. And then it was DJ Chris, actually. It was a couple of his songs. He said, where are those dance mixes? I can't find them. And I looked, of course, they're not there. I thought, oh, Chris, I've gone over the backups. I can't do it. Anyway, and it was up at my caravan. I suddenly remembered, I think I've got another backup disc here. And I did. And it hadn't been updated for a year. And I plugged it in, and there's all the songs. So very, very lucky with that. They do say to you, you know, you should have a few backup hard disks, not just one. USB backup hard disk. You should have a few of them. All right? One at home, one there, and literally in different buildings. So if something terrible happens here, I don't know, you know, a large magnetic wave pulse, or worse, a fire, and you would lose everything. Or, you know, or if the backup discs fail, you should have 2 or 3 backups in different places. So one here, maybe one at my mate's house, one at the caravan, one at my sister's, as many as possible, so that you never lose them. How many of you have had a little bit of a problem with a computer once and you've lost your data because you didn't have a backup? They tell you that, don't they? Of course, the other thing is, not everyone knows how to do it. It took me years how to work out how to do a backup. And then all my stuff was all over the place, you know, folders everywhere. Now I put all my data, music, karaoke, it all goes on a part of the discs, so that when I do the backup, I just drag that part of the disc onto the backup disc, which is plugged into the USB. Easy peasy. But see, I'm from that generation where we never had computers like you are. Like a lot of you are. We never had computers. We knew nothing about computers at school or anything like that, did we? So we're kind of self-taught, and well, I'm all right at it now, I suppose. So that's the old lawnmower story. How exciting, getting a new one of those. I bet I put it on the wrong bleeding way. Never mind. Let's read some of your messages coming in this evening. Evening to Luke Talk. Good evening, Luke. Luke, what's your favourite old song at the moment? I don't have a favourite song. Luke, to be honest. I like lots of different music. You know, I do like lots of different music. I mean, we could do that one day on the I think on the radio show. Maybe we could do about new songs, couldn't we? Luke says, what rubbish are you going to talk about tonight? We'll have a look at the bloody menu. Use your eyes and have a look, Luke. Oh, dear me. Evening to Gary Ross. Good evening, Gary. Evening to Jason Hughes. Hello to you. Hello to Sherry Parrish. Good evening, Sherry. Good evening, you and your viewers. Lovely to see you again. I hope you're well, Sherry. You've been in the garden at all, have you, my love? Relaxing in the garden. Always a nice thing to do, isn't it? Evening to Peter Lake. Good evening to Peter Lake in Woodhall Spa. Hello to Shania. How was your radio show today, Shania? Have you had a good time on the radio today, my darling? Shania does a show with her dad. Oh, lovely, isn't it? A little family sort of Sunday afternoon between 1 and 4 o'clock on Vectis Radio on the Isle of Wight. Good evening to the very beautiful Fran Green. Evening to you. Evening to John Parrish. 30 degrees here. Still a bit nippy. Oh, dear. How can you be cold at 30 degrees? Roy Brownlow is going to call in a little bit later. I can't wait till all the old karaoke favourites return. The characters, yes. An actual fact, we will be upstairs in a couple of weeks. Not next week, the week after. We will be upstairs. And I have a feeling once we've done it, we'll probably stay there. Okay, we've been waiting for that. I think they're going to move back up. We have to move upstairs on this particular date. I believe it's the 4th of August. Just a moment. What's it today? 18? Okay. So it's 23. Oh, it might be the one after. Oh, the 4th of August is the Wednesday. Or it might not be that one. Could be the 6th. I think it's 2 weeks' time. Haven't I got a wedding to go to? Oh, yeah. 19th. Yes, so I think it's a couple of weeks' time we'll be moving upstairs, and the reason is there's something going on downstairs which was pre-booked. Rather than cancel the karaoke, we'll move upstairs. I've got a feeling they'll leave it up there, but of course that means I've got to rewire the damn thing because I took the wires out to take them downstairs. But I do quite like it downstairs. We can have it a lot louder. than we can upstairs. But we'll see what happens there. Good evening to Diane Jeb. Evening to you, Diane. Evening, Diane. Hello to Amelia Phillips. Evening, Amelia. Mike says, I couldn't possibly eat a full Viennetta. Oh, you lying bastard. Yes, you can. Fat git. Ow. Oh, wow, we're really offended. He's fat shaming people now. Oh, it's comedy. It's called comedy. If you don't get comedy, you're watching the wrong show, darlings. Go and be offended by something else. Oh, I tell you what I saw this afternoon. I'll post it later. I saw a TikTok of Nan. You know Nan, yeah? Catherine Tate, Nan. Oh, it's hilarious. She's at this comedy, you know, the red nose thing, and she rips into it all. It's absolutely hilarious. After the show, I'll post it up on my Facebook. It's about 2 minutes long. I hadn't seen that one before. You know there's a film coming out soon, don't you, Nan? It's all been made. It's just not been released yet. Nan. Catherine Tate doing Nan. Fabulous. Mike says, I barely managed a quarter of that Viennetta. You're a liar. Liar, liar. Pants are on fire. You sat there and stuffed that entire Viennetta in your mouth, didn't you? Not hard for you to get big portions in your mouth, is it, Mike? Filth. He says, as for your lawnmower, a quick squirt of WD-40 works wonders for lubrication. No, it doesn't. That bolt would not move. I don't know how he managed to get it off. I really don't. But that's the last time that'll be fixed. Be a new one next time. He had hot dogs this week made with Richmond Irish sausages. They are the best ones, Richmond. And they do a vegetarian sausage now, Richmond. Did you know that? They're all right, they are. They're all right, they are. I used American mustard, ketchup and coleslaw. My sister makes a very nice coleslaw. Yes, she can do cooking. My sister. Coleslaw. Very messy, but very yummy. I'm sure it was. Good evening to Maureen this evening. Evening, Maureen. Hope you're well there. There's Richard Morris. Hello, Richard. He suggested I watch Gogglebox. He kept going on about Gogglebox. He said, there's a nice little surprise in there for you. Now, I've said to you before, I'm not keen on Gogglebox, but I thought, well, if Richard tells me to watch it, I must give it another go. I managed 8 minutes. What a load of crap. What a load of crap. It's on the same level as Big Brother, Come Dine With Me, X Factor. They're all the same. Crap, crap, crap. But nevertheless, there was a little surprise, and that was Roman Kemp in a pair of shorts with his dad. His dad's good looking and all, isn't he? Is it Gary? Is it Gary Kemp? What's his first name? Gary? Is it Gary Kemp? They're both good-looking family, aren't they? And there's Roman sprawled out on the settee in a pair of shorts. So thanks very much for that, Richard. But I only managed 8 minutes. I've never seen so much fakery in all my life, dear. It's fake. You know there's a producer there telling them, oh, start waving your hands a bit and being outrageous. It's all done for the camera. I don't like fake, I'm sorry. That's why I like Bradley Walsh. You don't get more natural than him. I saw a little story. He's thinking of giving it all up in a couple of years. I mean, I know he's got enough money and all that, but that's pretty irrelevant, isn't it? He's just great. Bradley Walsh, so natural. No fakery at all there. None. There's so much fakery on that telly. It's unbelievable. Really is. Richard said, I never used to do a backup. Then when my computer went, I thought I'd lost everything. But thankfully, my computer guy managed to get it all back again. You're very lucky. Did you have to pay for that, like a lot of money? Sometimes they are able to recover bits from a hard disk, but you can spend an awful lot of money on that. I've actually got a computer bloke now, a shop in Crowthorne, which is not too bad, too far from me. And now when something goes wrong, I take it to him. He's brilliant, brilliant. And he doesn't rip you off. You know, you get the bill and you think, okay, you haven't ripped me off. Nothing worse than being ripped off, you know. Richard said, now my computer automatically backs up to the cloud. Therefore, I don't have to do anything about it. Don't you worry. If you put too much in the cloud, does it rain? I'll be very worried about that, you know. Is it Microsoft One Link or something like that, isn't it? Something like that. You see, the trouble is, my karaoke songs, they're gigabytes of data there. And I'd have to pay for something like that, you know. He says, why don't you try the cloud? Well, because I don't want it to rain, dear. Don't want it to rain. Mind you, we couldn't have this weather all the time. You'd soon get fed up with it. Look at the troubles they've got over in Germany. Global warming, dear. That's what it is. Terrible. terrible seeing those people losing all their homes and all that. This stupid get on the news earlier reporter. Oh, well, they didn't get much warning. Well, what do you want them to do? Or they weren't well prepared. Well, what do you want them to do? There's a flood coming. What do you want them to do? It's stupid. There's a flood coming. What can you do? Get out. Get out or stay. I know some people, they think they want to stay and risk it. We've seen that in hurricanes and things like that, haven't we? Where people simply won't move out their house. Well, that's the risk they want to take, you know. But to say that, you know, oh, people didn't have the correct warning or whatever, I can't remember the exact expression she used. You know, it's going to flood. What else can you say to them? Hello, your house is going to flood. End of. I mean, somewhere like Germany, in a town, it's the same as me, right? If someone rang up now or some sort of alarm came on the telly, you know, your area is going to flood today. Well, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Start bringing the telly and all that upstairs or something. I don't know. What do you do? Yeah, I don't know if some of you, I expect there's someone here who's flooded at some point. Must be awful. A lot of people think, oh, it's just a little bit of water. No, it's not. It's sewage from people's toilets. All comes up over the floor. Someone I know had that not recently. I can't remember now. I was talking to them the other day. Someone actually had that. Poo coming all over there. Well, once the flood waters that was it. Adam the plumber. I think it was Adam the plumber. If I remember rightly, it was someone on the phone I was talking to. On that, no, it wasn't. It was DJ Chris. It was DJ Chris. DJ Chris. Something happened. He lives in a flat. Lovely place he's got actually. It's really he's done it up really nice and lovely place Chris has got. And he something went wrong with the sewage and the whole place flooded and it was poo all over his floor. And they had to redecorate the house, replace all his stuff. Oh, it must be awful, that. Awful. Anyway, yeah, Richard says, why don't you try the crowd? Oh, yes, it costs money. Exactly. You want one of these, Richard? I mean, this is an old one, to be honest. You know, believe it or not. You see this? This is an iAmiga zip drive. Who's got one of those, eh? 500 gig. Look at the size of it. You only get 500 gig. No, 500 meg. 500 megabytes on that. I've got two little blue things, Western Digital, and they're lovely little blue things they are, which are like that size, and they're like, I don't know, what are they? Like 250 gig. This is 5, and I still use it. How mad is that? iAmiga. I don't think they're in business anymore, are they? iAmiga zip drives. I think I've just got music on there, you know. I wouldn't get my karaoke stuff on that. It's too small. How crazy is that? Thank you, Richard. Shania says, "Oh, what a shock that is! Oh, I can't even read. I don't think I should read that out, Shania. Defrauding the public like that, dear. I'm not going to read that out. I'm shocked and horrified. And a good Catholic girl like you as well. Fooling the public. I'm not saying a word. Not a word, darling. Don't worry. Your secret is safe with me. I'm very good at keeping secrets. I know a lot of stories about a lot of people. That's why I managed to stay DJing for so long. I always kept my mouth shut when it come to other people. Unfortunately, my thoughts on certain things, as time went on, started to come out more and more. Certainly as you get older, you just what's the point, you know? Think to yourself, you know, apparently a lot of the drag queens, the younger drag queens, didn't really like me because I just told them how it was. What did you think of that, Chris? Well, it's an awful number. Dreadful. Oh, I really like that one. No, it doesn't really work. Oh, well, you're not very supportive. Well, you asked me a question. Don't ask me if you don't want an answer. I had that. I've told you before. Some bloke who writes the lyrics for records. I need to, hold on. You get a form. You used to get the records through the post. You get a form to fill out what you think. And this particular person, who will remain nameless, said to me, "Oh, a bit disappointed about your reaction to my song." Oh, right, why is that then? Well, it wasn't very supportive. I said, you asked me for my opinion. I said, that's the opinion. Do you want me to tell me what you want me to put then and I'll change it? Well, I just thought you could be a bit more supportive. I didn't like it. Didn't like it. What do you want me to do? Don't ask the question then. It's like some of the people who make comments, on the show sometimes, and they don't like the response. Well, don't ask the question then. Simple as that, isn't it? I think as you get older, you get a bit like that. Bit miserable old bastard. Oh, Shania, I'm shocked, darling. I'm shocked. I think 10 Hail Marys for that, my love. 10 Hail Marys. No, I'm not reading it out. People are probably offer money now, trying to find, and they're all wondering now, Shania, what you did today. Shocking horror, darling, really. Evening to George Bond. Evening to George. Have a word with Martin about your lawnmower blade. It's done. He won't have a spare one of those. What, a Cobra? Cobra 32? Cobra 32 it is, Qualcast. Evening to Mr. Andy Andy. Good evening, Andy Andy. Will Monday Karaoke be coming back as well soon? No, that failed in the end. Monday Karaoke, it got very quiet. Don't you remember? Oh, it's a long time ago now. That being said, it could start again, I suppose, and work this time. But at that failed. It got so quiet. There were a few wonderful, beautiful regulars that came week in, week out. Ray Reynolds, Roy, lovely Maureen. But it got quiet and there wasn't many people there. They didn't make. If the pub's not making any money, if people aren't buying loads of stuff, then it doesn't work anymore. And that's why that one stopped. That you may remember that one stopped as soon as I went on holiday. Okay. Amelia Phillips says it's too hot. It is very hot at the moment, isn't it, darling? Roy says, my girls have made you a sea glass angel. Shall I send it to the pub for you? That'd be lovely, yeah, why not? That's very nice. What a lovely thing for them to make. Actually, Roy, no, don't. Don't send it to the pub because stuff gets lost there. Sometimes stuff gets lost for 6 months and then suddenly it turns up. I'd rather you didn't, to be honest. That's I won't be asking people to send cards and that at Christmas. They just don't get there sometimes, okay? So I'm afraid I don't have an address for you to send stuff to. Don't ask for a post office box. I used to have one of those, Roy, post office box. And then the post office, in their wisdom, put the price up so high that I decided to come out of it. Yeah, it went from like 60 quid a year to something like 130, 140. Ludicrous, There was a couple of people, well, please keep the post office thing open. Well, you only got like 2 or 3 letters a year anyway. That works out about 30 quid a letter. It's just not worth it. But I'm afraid, Roy, I don't have an address for you to send anything to. Sorry about that. Vera. Hello, Vera. Hello, Vera. Vera's here. She was at work at 5 o'clock when the store closed. All the screens at the checkouts were removed. Ready for tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to going to work tomorrow. They've removed the screens, have they? Wow. I wouldn't be happy about that. That's surprising. I mean, I'll still be, as I say, I'll still be wearing my mask, going to shops and places like that. It's a bit iffy, isn't it? I think it's too early. I really do. I think it's far too early, Yeah, Roy, you could set, when I'm up at the caravan, you could send it there. That would work. That would work. They end up at Sylvie's house and go into a shed. So, but let me know when you send it, because I'll go straight to the shed and collect it, all right? Thank you. Martin's got hundreds of mowers. Why don't you ask him? Because they're petrol. Mine's not petrol. Mine's electric. Mine's an electric mower, okay? Mike in Brighton once wiped his hard drive. Oh, by accident, lost 330 gig of music, almost cried. Is there a video of you crying for us to watch? I like seeing that sort of thing. People upset and crying. I enjoy that sort of thing, People upset or whatever. My favourite adverts are those ones where something happens to someone. My favourite advert, I think, of that sort of thing is when the woman... you've seen Claims Direct, and she goes into these offices and this glass door opens, she walks in and slips arse over tit, goes bang on the floor. I love that advert. Anything like that, send it through. We do like to have a little laugh at other people's expense, usually. He says, I realised he lost around 30 gig of music. I almost cried. I then realised I used a subscription backup called Mozzie and had unsubscribed months earlier. I logged in to resubscribe, and to my delight, I was able to restore most of my music even without resubscribing. You're lucky there. You're so right about backups. You can never have enough of them. P.S. I'm not fat, you boring old fart. You've never been fat, actually, Mike, to be fair to you. I don't think I've ever known you as fat. Only me, darling. And the weight's piling on here. Piling on here. And I'm trying to get to my 60 lengths, as mentioned, in the swimming pool, but I can never get to them because at 58, the boy appears at the top and he just looks, and you know to get out. You don't need to say anything at all. Yeah. Just going back to that computer thing there, gang, always have loads of backups, as many as you can afford. Of course, every time you buy a little hard disk, it's cost you, I don't know what it is now. What's a backup hard disk? They do solid state ones now as well, don't they, with no moving parts. Presumably they are bigger to bet, but you don't need to buy the expensive one. Just get a normal one. Hang on, let's have a look. How much are backup discs now? USB drive. One moment, please. Oh, even these. Yeah, look. I mean, most of you won't have like gigabytes of music and that on there, but one of these, that's a 16 gig one. You could just use that can be used as a little backup thing, can't it? You know? I've got another one here. Hang on. What's this one? Crucial. What's this one? Oh, that's another 16. You can just plug it in, and But for the big ones, you wanna drive. I don't know. 256 gig. Is that a fair size? That one. 250. There's 256 USB drive. USB drive. Let's type that in. There we go. Western, 4 terabyte drive there. That would do you. £106. That's a big one. That's a massive one. That is. Mine are. I think it's Western Digital. Hang on. Western. I've got mine's a little blue thing. Western Digital. I can't remember the brand. It's branded as well. There we are. That's it. I've got my passport one. 1 terabyte. Western Digital. My passport Ultra. £49. Oh, that's a used one. Oh, don't buy a used one. Actually, Mike told me that. Don't buy any used computer stuff. Honestly. Never buy used computer stuff. Oh, why is that used then? Why am I getting used stuff up there? USB hard drive. There we are. So, USB hard drive. External hard drive here. I don't know that make. I'd also stick with a make when it comes. Here we go. Western Digital, 2 terabytes, brand new portable hard drive, £55. £55. And that Western Digital, very good buy. Don't buy Seagate. Don't buy Seagate. When I went in to have my picture, my computer fixed, because the hard drive had failed, he said, I bet you got a Seagate in there. He opened it up, and guess what? It was a Seagate. He said, they're the ones that fail the most. I mean, they don't fail within, a couple of months, but they last less than all the others. Seagate, Seagat. Don't buy one of those. A couple of emails here. Good evening to Andrew. Hello to you, Andrew. Andrew Danes in the house. Evening to you. Sending messages from sunny Scarbados in North Yorkshire. Whoa, we're coming to Scarbados. Ooh, whoa. In the sunny, what sea have you got? Is it, no, North Sea, is that? I don't know what sea you've got there. What's the sea there? What sea is it there? I don't know. He says, you're looking very smart tonight, my friend. Thank you very much. Brilliant show so far. Thoroughly enjoying the humour. Great show. Loving you putting the whining buggers in their place. Oh, they just moan all the time. The woke lot. I can't bear them. Can't bear them. We're surrounded by them. Surrounded by them. And that's from Andrew, who's the son, and Brian, the dad. They're watching that together. So thank you very much for that very much, Andrew. Nice to have you with us there. And Lee Toby, I think I said hello to Lee already, haven't I? Lee Toby's sent us a little message in there. Let me just check me spam. Sometimes stuff goes into spam. Even stuff I send out goes into spam folders sometimes. Weird, isn't it? Vera says, I'm looking at portable hard drives. 1 terabyte, £37. See? And you could have a couple of those. Have 2 or 3 of them. You know, buy one this week, one in a couple of weeks' time when you've got the money again. And back up all your important stuff. And leave one at a relative's house. You know, maybe your son, your daughter, your mum, your dad. You know, not your other halves. Because when you split up, they could use that against you. Yeah? Don't. This is how I think. Never trust anyone. Never trust anyone except a member of your family. You know, if I'd like £10,000 cash here, you know, I'd quite happily, sis, can you look after that for me? No problem at all. I don't think I'd lend it to, certainly not none of you lot. Certainly not Shania or her dad. If I asked her to look after 10 grand, they'd be straight down the place to start buying new chalices and things like that for the church. You know, wouldn't they? Have you ever been to the Vatican? You get people. People are so funny, aren't they? So funny. I remember going to. I've been so lucky. I've been to the Vatican twice, and you tell people about it. The loony left. Oh, I think it's disgusting. Oh, that old gold in there. You know, they should sell it and give the money to the poor. You're joking, aren't you? What am I going to go and look at then? Huh? Don't start selling the gold in all the churches and all that nice stuff. Stained windows. Don't start selling that. We'll have nothing to go and look at, will we? Give it to the poor. Please do me a favour. You could go in the Vatican. Could you just imagine going in there and they ripped up all the marble and sold it so someone can go and have a ham sandwich? You are joking, aren't you? Nowhere to go on holiday. I don't have any gold. I have little bits, you know, like a mother's chain, which not worth anything really. I have no gold or jewellery or anything like that. A couple of watches. Again, the value of this is the fact that my mum and dad bought it. No, that's my dad's. That's one of my dad's one. Yeah, because he always had these things. That's one of my dad's watches. And I've got this one here that they got me for my birthday one year. It doesn't work anymore. But the value is sentimental, you know, not worth. I don't have any jewellery or expensive paintings or anything like that. You stick a bit of glass on your finger. Oh, look at my ring. What's it do? Oh, it just looks nice. What's the point of that? Don't get it. Unless you're doing it as an investment. That's my nephew's favourite word, investment. He invests money in trainers. You may remember the show a few weeks ago. He buys trainers. Look it up on eBay. Some of these trainers are thousands of pounds because they're limited edition or they got worn by, I don't know, Muhammad Ali's son or someone like that. Thousands of pounds on a pair of trainers. Madness. I bought trainers off Amazon the other week. 16 quid. Nothing wrong with them. 16 quid for a pair of trainers. You mugs are going out and spending £150 on a pair of trainers. Just like my nephew. Well, not so much anymore because there's a baby on the way. Ah! I don't think I'll be seeing him in £120 trainers anymore. Not with that baby coming along, mate. Forget it. Ha ha! You chose. You took the baby instead of having the trainers. That's it. All right. Hello to Paul in Cornwall. He's hot and sticky in Devon today. He's got a NAS system. 10 terabytes and my Synology plus 4 terabytes by 4. You sound like a bit of a computer expert there, DJ Sparky. Would I assume that you are a bit of a computer expert? I'm just assuming that. I'm just guessing. Are you? Roy Brownlow says, me and my daughter stay in Sunderland 3 days tomorrow. Sea and Beach, collecting more sea glass. Visit Sea Glass Museum and the castle. And you may remember Roy spoke about his daughter makes this stuff out of sea glass, which is little bits of glass they find. They find these little bits of glass. They make things out of them. Beautiful, actually. Absolutely beautiful. And he also says 2 terabyte portable ones are 30 quid. on the old hard drives there. Shania says I would use a fiver of the £10,000 that I give her to look after to pay Dad back for the teas. On and on about these teas. Oh, for God's sake. About 3 years ago, Shania and her dad turned up at my church in Wokingham. All right, just down the road, not far from here. Anyway, end of the mass. Come to buying some teas. I introduced them to the priest. It was Father David at the time. We've got a canon now. Well, we've got a canon now. Upgraded. Canon. And it was Father David at the time. And he ordered these teas. And I only had like a 20 quid note. And they had no change. You know, not that you don't actually donate. You don't actually buy the teas. You put a donation in. Well, I ain't paying 20 quid for free teas. Whether it's a church or anyone, dear. You know, they've got enough gold, as mentioned earlier on in the show. So I said, you haven't got any change on you. Well, he had a fiver, didn't he, her dad? So he's paid for the teas. God, I've never heard the end of it. On and on. When are you going to pay our fiver back? Jesus Christ. On and on and on about this blooming fiver. I mean, Christ, they had biscuits. Tea and biscuits. Not just tea and biscuits. Well, I had a few biscuits, actually. I usually had a few biscuits. It's nice, isn't it? Mike in Brighton says most people will not have huge amounts of music. Well, I don't think a lot of people do now anyway. They just stream it all, don't they? No, how many of these youngsters own music? They don't. They just stream it all. I've got a Spotify, $4.99. I got that. Lowest one available. Mike says, if you've got a Google account, you get 15 gig of storage. That's no good for my karaoke. I mean, literally, I think it's over 100 gig, the karaoke, because they're large files, you know, video and music as well. It's called Google Drive. Yeah, I think it's about 4,000 tracks. Oh, I've got more than 4,000 bits of music. Got so much stuff I have here. Paul. Here we are. Paul, I knew you was an expert, darling. I've been a technical wizard for over 20 years. I did my home network and rewire the house with Cat 6 and full Wi-Fi and 4G backup. He's got it all there. He's got it all there, haven't you, Paul? Thank you very much. We're going to get on to some of these stories. I've been here sitting for an hour now, chatting crap, as usual, you know. By the way, if you want to send a tip, you can use the super chat thing, or you can send a PayPal if you want to. That's my PayPal there. If you do want to send a tip, type that whole thing into your address bar there, paypalme.com/Chris Reardon UK. Don't type that into PayPal. Put that into your address bar. Just leave that up there for 5 minutes. Up to you, all right, my darlings? Here's a question for you. Did you or would you have a big wedding or a little one? What would you do? Did you have a big wedding or a little wedding? You'll be able to call in on this in a moment when I open the phone line. Ba, 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 ba. We should have a drum roll. When I stand by drum, I've got a drum. Stand by drum. That's not me pushing a button. There's a drum person over there. I have a whole orchestra here in the studio. You just can't see them. They're behind that curtain over there. You can see that curtain there. One moment. Camera 3. See that curtain there? They're behind there, my darling. My orchestra all behind there. Standing by to entertain you, my darlings, all right? Okay? But I'd like to talk about weddings first. Weddings. Did you have a big wedding? Or would you have a big wedding? And was there, or would you like anyone famous there? Not necessarily doing the entertainment, you know. When Mark Bowles and I get married, I'm hoping to try and persuade Barry Manilow down, but it's a bit expensive. I mean, even to get... Did I see an insect flying there? Oh, I don't like big insects in here. Do you remember that time a wasp attacked me in here? A couple of years ago, that was. I was attacked by a wasp. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. By the way, I should have told you, if you're in any sort of chat box or you're making Facebook Live comments, okay, I don't see the comments or the chat box. So to join in the show, three ways of doing that. Either send a text there, top left-hand corner. It's just a normal text number. It's not premium rate, okay? 07451 287 337 is my text number. Or you can use the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, as indeed Andrew and Lee did earlier. All right? But yes, weddings. My wedding, I was married once, believe it or not. Yep, 1983 it was. And our wedding was very basic. It was a registry office. It was okay, registry office. And then followed by a little bit of a wake in the... Not a wake. Well, it might as well have been. Not a wake. God, I got that wrong. The reception. The reception. And it was in a local scout hut. Sadly, it was the scout group that I used to belong to. Very, very sadly, it no longer exists. There are no scouts now in Roehampton. I'm really upset by that. Some of my best times were in the scouts, but there we go. So we had the reception in it, and that was it, basically. That was it. That was our wedding. Nothing special, really. Very downbeat. We had a DJ in the corner, and that was it. Over the years, DJing at weddings, I don't do them anymore. I haven't done them for some years. Certainly in the 80s, I used to be a wedding and birthday DJ, you know, mobile, going out. And I did weddings in scout huts and weddings in 5-star hotels and everything in between. Yeah. Some had the full sit-down meal and all that. You know, lovely, lovely. All the little bits of material over the chairs, beautiful tablecloths and things like that. It was like the high-end weddings. And the other weddings, just as good actually, were in little social clubs, scout huts, community halls. And in there you got the trestle tables there. The trestle tables were out there. Some sort of covering on the tables, usually like a paper type covering there. And then a lot of families, we talked about this the other week, didn't we? A lot of families, they chip in and might bring a plate of sausage rolls or ham sandwiches all covered in the foil or a bit plastic. And then as the people come on, it all goes off and go and help yourself. Both were just as good as each other. Really, you know. I mean, what are you doing? Are you just trying to put a show on for people or something by booking 5-star hotels? You know, if you've got the money, then fine. But don't start borrowing money to have a blooming wedding. What for? What, to put on a show for other people? It's your wedding. Spend the money on a deposit on an house. Don't waste your money feeding out all these other fat people there, dear. And letting them get all blooming drunk up at the bar. Never put any money behind the bar. That's the worst thing you can do. People take the mick, whether they're family or not. I've seen it. End of the night, they're completely legless and you've paid for it. No, Sodom. Never, ever have a free bar. Not even the first hour. Dear, but make them pay for it. And then you'll see who your real friends are, right? Anyway, what was your wedding like? I asked this because it says in the Mail Online, Emma Bunton, the Spice Girl. That's Baby Spice, isn't it? She's all right. She got married. She's been out with this bloke 23 years, Jade Jones. I've never heard of him. But Emma Bunton's Spice Girls bandmates didn't know. They didn't know. She didn't want them there. The singer, 45, shocked fans when she announced she'd tied the knot in secret at Soho Farmhouse in the Cotswolds on Tuesday. It seems, that's last Tuesday gone, it seems the ceremony was so low-key that even her fellow singers weren't aware, with the couple keeping the news private. And why shouldn't they? You know, some people like it like that. Some people, as I say, they want to put in this great big show thing so that for a few hours and about £20,000, they are the centre of attention. That's what that's all for. It's unnecessary. Unnecessary. A source told the Mail Online no friends or family were invited either, and it was a secret from everyone. Maybe she ran out of cash. Baby Spice. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Oh, what I want, what I really want. That song, I don't know. I was never really that much of a fan of the Spice Girls. I don't know why, I just wasn't. I like Steps. It was just their mums, their 2 children and 2 close friends as legal witnesses, with Bo as best man. I don't know who Bo is. And there's a picture of it. Oh, she looks happy. Yeah. Let's just take a picture of this. She looks happy, little Spice Girl. Bless her heart, love. Oh, yeah. I think she was the nicer one out of all of them. I don't think I ever wanted to meet Victoria Beckham. So far up her own arse, the toilet paper can't get there, probably. and Scary Spice. Well, the reason I don't like her is one of my friends met her. One of my girls met her, and went up to her at some radio do or something and said, "Well, I just wanted to say how much I enjoy you," and she went, "Yeah, all right," and walked off. So that's why I don't like her. But little baby Spice seems all right, actually. They've been together. Emma and Jade have been together 20 years. I thought Jade was a girl's name, but clearly not. It's a bloke's name as well. Emma and Jade have been together 23 years, and they announced their engagement in 2011. They've got 2 children. Beau, who's 13. So that was the best man. The boy was the best man, was he? Oh, that's nice, isn't it? I don't know, having your son as the best man, or giving you away. I'm sure that happens quite a lot. Your son giving away their mum, perhaps, to a new husband. That's quite a nice thing to do, isn't it, where are we now? Just scroll down a little bit there. After Emma shared wedding snaps on Instagram, her Spice Girls bandmates shared their excitement in the comments. Well, she didn't want them there, did she? Obviously. And there's a picture of them all together. Oh, that's a nice picture. They look like they're on holiday somewhere. Yeah, look. There's the bloke. He looks pretty nice, doesn't he? And there's the little boy who gave her away. Oh, how wonderful. Your own son giving you away like that. That's lovely, that, isn't it, eh? Yeah, nice. Anyway, so that was their wedding. What was yours like? Was it like that? Was it busy? Give us a call and talk about it. We're talking about weddings at the moment. 020 8144 3477. 020 8144 3477 is my number. Shania says others take the mick when it comes to tea. Are you really gonna record it every week? Why is that? I think you'd miss something if it was recorded, Shania. Are you serious about that? Recording your show every week? That there's a certain thing that you miss if you record a show. There's a spark that I feel when I'm doing it live, completely different to when it was recorded, to be honest. Roy's on the line. Good evening, Roy.
Hello, Chris. Are you ready for DW News?
No, we're talking about weddings at the moment.
Oh, right, I've got to phone back. I've got to phone back later.
No, you can talk about DW News. What is DW News for those people that don't know what it is, please?
DW News.
Oh, you got a jingle. Oh, she's got a jingle.
Yeah, the life and times of Daniel Woodhouse.
Yes.
So, yeah, well, this week, Daniel Woodhouse, we were treated to an episode of Come Dine with Daniel. Well, actually, it was Come Daniel Dines Alone. When within 6 minutes, he set off his smoke alarm 4 times, and despite his brave efforts with a wafting towel, he had to abandon the programme and eat his melted mess, which looked uncooked.
Oh, dear.
Daniel's tours gave a lovely walk through Romford Market, showing us all the closed-down shops and the homeless sleeping area that was to let. And the precinct was closed because it was 8 o'clock in the morning. Always an interesting one. After the football defeat, our self-acclaimed leader, Daniel Woodhouse, broadcast his version of the Queen's speech, bringing hope and relief from football fever pain, and reassured us that we are still a COVID-infected nation, but we do have him for hope and for the future. In effort to figure out Daniel Woodhouse's bingo empire this week, I clicked on his eBay ticket sales service and became frustrated and amused as how he can sell 100 bingo tickets in sets for up to 500 people to play bingo for the massive amount of £1.70p. This left me feel a little sad and worried that after all the hours that he spends with a pair of scissors in his sore hands, his toil and labour, he can sell them for so little. The most interesting and useful thing Daniel did this week was to watch Ronnie Corbett's documentary with his mum's feet. Well, that's all we saw, her feet. He did spoil it, though, by having to explain one of his jokes to his mum's feet. Finally, we watched Daniel Woodhouse fall asleep on the sofa while watching the Chris Reardon show on his laptop. and we were warned that within the meek and mild Daniel Woodhouse lies an angry man waiting to fight his way out. More boring, interesting DW news next week, when we hoped that Daniel will go crazy at his bridge session or write his name on a train toilet wall. Watch this space. DW news.
I don't think he's the only one that falls asleep while I'm doing my shows, to be honest.
He did that. Well, he looked asleep.
I don't mind people sleeping while my shows are on, as long as they keep the thing running so the numbers are still ticking up.
Oh, well, actually, I did have a mention about the weddings, so I better go back on the subject. After the DW news, I once did a friend's wedding, Chris. £30,000 he spent. This is a true story. They flew in by helicopter to a very select venue locally. They flew in by helicopter. There was a gift bag for everybody there, champagne on every table, everything. He'd given this girl about 5 years, I think they'd been together. About 5 years. They lived together. He got a house that he'd bought. I think he bought it and she moved in and spent a bit between them doing it all. Local to me. They bought this house and that's about £30,000 this wedding cost. And on the day of the wedding, she had to go back to the house because she forgot something. Anyway, she came back to the wedding. They got married, continued to live together. 6 weeks later, he found out she'd been knocking his best mate off for 2 years. She'd been having an affair. And on the day of the wedding, when she went back to the house, she went back to the house to sleep with his best mate.
No.
Yeah, she went back to the house and she slept. She says, well, why did you marry me? She says, well, I couldn't decide who I love the most. It's probably 10 years ago now, Chris. I think the other week, he's just paid off the second mortgage that he took out, the mortgage that he took out on the house to pay for the wedding and to buy her out in the end after 10 years.
That's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
How? And this is your mate, is it?
Oh, it's someone I know, yeah.
Is he
DJing at his wedding.
Is he okay now, or?
He remarried. He did remarried. He remarried about 3 or 4 years later, and he is with my lovely. He's with a lovely gal, and and everything turned out. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know, but everything turned out right. I think she went off this. Well, she did. She ran off this guy. She admitted it all and ran off with his best mate. And I think they lasted about 5 years, and they split up.
And it's terrible. It's terrible, really.
Yeah. But Chris, I'm like you, Chris, because I've DJ'd weddings, mate. You see it all, don't you?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You got the beats. I still see. I do magic at weddings, so I still see it. They are a magician. I did one not long ago. They had me. There was about St. Catherine's stuff outside for the kids. They had one of them sweet carts, one of them photo booths. They had a band. They had a disco. They had me as the magician and game show. I did a game show. Mate, and I thought, God, you can have too much.
I think you can. Well, what it seems to be to me, these great big weddings, is that it's like a show for everyone.
Yeah.
Why don't they just cheaper to buy them a couple of tickets to go to a theatre or something?
Do you know what I can't understand? When they have one, the photo booths. There are these photo booths, don't you? You go inside, press the screen, put stupid hats and moustaches and wigs and all that, and it takes photos. They have them, then they have a photographer.
Yeah, don't really make sense, does it?
Yeah, I do photos at weddings. Now, I did one once, and she said to me, right, well, this is what you want to do. I sent them a plan. This is what I want you to do in the day, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, at night, I sort of finished then. And she said, oh, you're not finished, have you? I said, oh, yeah, after the speeches, I said, could you stay around for another half an hour, take pictures of people going in the booth? I thought, well, you've got the pictures of the people in the booth, because the booth takes the photos.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, when it comes to photographers, I did do a wedding once, and they weren't very well off in money. This couple. Do you know what they did for the photos? They bought disposable cameras.
Yeah.
And put one on every table, and asked people to take pictures with these cameras, and at the end to just leave them on the tables and they would be developed. And that's how they got their pictures. And they were very good pictures. Very good.
Chris, I've had people ring me and say, how much is it? And I tell them, we've only got like a couple of £100. I say to them, tell everyone to take the mobile phone and snap as many pictures as
absolutely.
they can. Because if you take 300 pictures, you're going to get 100 half-decent ones.
Yes, you will.
That you can, go on a bit of software on a computer, you can manipulate them, cut people out, take people out, take scenes out, manipulate them and make them perfect. To be honest, if you've got low budget, disposable ones, that reminds me of disposable ones. We used to, years ago, I used to do an hotel, right through Christmas, all the all the Christmas bookings.
Right.
And some of the bookings there, the companies used to put them disposable cameras. So we'd get them before it all started, and I'd take a picture of my backside, a picture of my leg, a picture of the back of my head. On every one, I'd put a different picture so they could make a body.
I feel a bit ill now, you saying about taking a picture of your backside. Reminds me of some of the pictures I've been receiving over the years.
I can hear you slaverating from here.
Oh, I feel ill. I feel ill, dear. Feel ill. Of course, you mentioned there, of course, mobile phones now. If you just get everyone to take as many pictures as possible and then send them through to your Dropbox or Facebook, you put them all in a folder. There's no need to be paying out for and they're very expensive, some of these photographers. Very expensive. That to be say, they are professionals, of course, so they know what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. I moved my market into video weddings because, it's not something everybody can do. It's not something people do. And it's an extra feature, isn't it? So I'd say, well, while I'm there with taking photos, and I've got a mate actually lives in Scotland. He's very good at it. And he sets up 3 cameras, and he streams the wedding live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, through his website, so people can't attend the wedding, you can still watch it. Yeah. And he records it. He's got on 3D cameras and everything. And he records it.
It's relatively easy to do that now. What you've got to make sure is that you've got a decent internet connection there, really.
Yeah, he's got. Well, you buy with them. You put a SIM card, you buy them things, and you pay a good internet package on your SIM card. That's what you do. But I'm on 3. It's unlimited.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
And most venues have got Wi-Fi.
That's what I've got as well. That's what I've got up at the caravan, as you know. It all comes over 4G from there. Works all right. Works fine. Oh, well, thank you for calling in today, Roy.
Christopher, it's been a pleasure for you to talk to me.
It really has. Have a lovely evening, sir.
Yes, sir. I will enjoy my holiday and I'll bring you a stick of rock.
Thank you.
You get your own from down the road. All right, see you later.
Cheerio, Roy. Bye now.
See me, Doc.
Roy Brownlow in Derby there, boys and girls. Vectis says nothing worse, here we go, than paying for your own drinks. See, on and on about it. He goes on and on about this £5. For God's sake, Sherry's there. Can't see the point of spending too much money on a wedding, then end up broke later. Well, a lot of them do. It's madness. What matters most is that you love each other. Oh, it's nice. And I hope one day to find someone to love me. But it has to work both ways, doesn't it? You can't just have one loving and not the other. It has to work both ways. And Sherry also says, John and I were married in the registrar's office with 2 witnesses almost 18 years ago. No meals or anything. He's not stingy at all. Yes, he is. I think he is. Let's take a call. Hello, who's on the line, please? Finishing 91.
Hello. Oh, no, 91, it's not me.
Oh, yes, it is.
I'm not. Oh, yeah, I probably am finishing 9. How are you doing, Chris? It's Leo.
Hello, Leo. How nice to hear. It's Rachel's Leo in the house. Hello, Leo. All right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, all well here. All well here. I'm all right in the hot weather. As I say, I'm very lucky, and I spent a bit of money in here some years ago. I got the air thing in here. I got one in a proper one in my bedroom as well now, which is dead quiet. Dead quiet. Yeah. It makes all the difference. And to me, it is worth spending the money on something like that if you've got it sort of available at the time,
Yeah, I actually bought a cheap one from, I think it was the Range, and it was one of these portable ones where you get a pipe and you stick it out your window.
Okay.
And you can sort of wheel it from room to room, and I find it fairly good, but it's not as good as the installed ones like at work.
No, I had that as well, and it worked very well. I tell you how you would improve it, and it's a bit of a thing. You need a hole in the wall so that you can close that window, and then the pipe would go out the wall, and then all the hot water would go. Those things you got, they do work. They do work, but they're not very efficient. I think you're probably finding what you're drawing 2 kilowatts with that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
2.4 kilowatts with the separate ones, fan outside and thing on the inside, 800 watts.
Not bad, is it?
Yeah. So they work really well.
Yeah. How are you then? You're fine, pretty good. Can we talk about COVID?
Yes, please do. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. What do you reckon to it at the moment? Because we've got to change our way of thinking about it now, haven't we?
Yes.
We've got to let it go and just basically let it do its own thing, and we're all protected. This is the plan, isn't it?
I think. I tell you what I think. When we've had these flu things before, you and I weren't here. I think the Spanish flu was a thing. The thing is with those, they seem to last about 2 years, right? And everyone gets it, and you either live and get over it, or you're dead. One of the two. But once everyone's been infected and you're either alive or dead, that's it. The world goes back to normal. I do wonder, with this whole vaccine thing, and, I don't know if you probably had 2 injections now. I've had 2 injections. Well, how long does that last? 6 months? So I do wonder, are we kind of just going to keep kicking the ball down the road? We'll have another injection they're talking about in sort of winter. Right, so then we push the ball down a little bit further. Is that what we're going to keep doing?
Yeah, it does make you wonder, but sure.
However, in this day and age, you can't simply let a load of people die. You just can't do that. I personally think, as you've asked, that it's coming off too quickly. I do believe that. And we should wait a little bit more and just see what happens. On the other hand, how long do you want to wait? If we keep injecting and you kick the ball down a little bit more and then the injection wears off, will people start getting it again? Difficult one. I will continue to wear my mask. I'll keep the social distancing, certainly in supermarkets and all that. I'll have a mask on and what have you. I'm very careful about touching people. When like the bloke last night, I went to a gig to see a bloke about a job last night, and he put his hand out to shake mine, and I offered him my elbow. I didn't want to touch anyone.
Yeah.
What about you and your missus?
Yeah, I mean, Rachel, unfortunately, and myself has got to wear a mask at work. It's compulsory.
Yeah.
So we're kind of looking forward to not wearing our masks out and about. But personally, myself, in a supermarket, I'll have it round my neck, and if I feel uncomfortable, I'll certainly put it up. So I'm looking forward to having the little bit of freedom of not having to wear it.
Yeah.
So at work, I tend to sort of wear it around my chin and then pull it up when I'm in contact with people, and then when you're loading loads and doing manual work, you just drop it down to help you breathe, etc. So I think we're looking forward to it, but I think you're spot on regarding kicking the ball down, the road. It just makes you think a bit. But I think we mustn't overthink it. I think we're all just getting so browned off with it. We've got to sort of lighten up a little bit about it.
Yeah.
But still take it very, very seriously. Yeah, so it's a difficult one, really. But Boris is taking a hell of a chance, really, isn't he?
I think he wants to infect as many people as possible so that we can then get over it. That's what I think.
Yeah. I think also, once you've had your vaccination, surely you're a little bit protected throughout your life.
I have no doubt in my mind that we are a lot protected, and your chance of becoming hospital is very much reduced. Your chance of dying is even more tiny.
Yeah.
But how long does that last? This is a thing, you see. So we need another booster then. Well, I expect in years to go, so what are we going to do? Keep having the boosters? We already have, I'm sure you have the flu one. Do you have the flu one every year?
No, I don't. But
Okay.
that's a different.
Well,
Yeah.
I do. Right now, we're talking this COVID one, so that's 2. Right.
Yeah.
I have a little blood condition, so I'm always offered the pneumonia one. So that's 3. Something
Yeah.
else will come along in a few years' time, I'm sure, which will probably be even worse than this. Do we just
Yeah.
keep? I mean, how many injections can you have
Mm.
before the body
Yeah.
starts thinking, "Hang on a minute, there's too much for me to deal with here"?
Yeah. Mm. On a lighter note, have you heard what's happening with the schools?
Well, they're on holiday soon, aren't they? Is it tomorrow?
No, well, it varies from area to area, but
Right.
what's happening with the schools is that the school children have twigged on that if you put a citrus drink or lemon juice in the little tester, you know, the little cubes, it will turn positive.
Oh, in the COVID test thing.
Yeah.
Is that
And of
right?
course,
So they get time off
Yeah.
school.
yeah.
Crafty
And-
little gits.
And honestly, our school now is like a ghost town. Everybody's off because they're in this bubble, because they've got positive tests. And it's gone around I believe it's gone all around the school like wildfire. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's have some time. But also, it's kind of two sort of folded as well, because all these parents have booked their holidays, to fall in the same time as the school holidays, and they're scared stiff of taking their kiddies to school, and they get told to be in a bubble,
Yeah.
and then they can't take them on holiday, and there's nobody at home to look after them. So it's kind of twofold, where the parents don't want the kids to go to school. The kids are all faking these tests because they don't want to go to school. They want to, early holiday.
Yeah.
And the schools are like a ghost town at the moment.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. They don't. You see, if they were to pick it up, then that's the holiday gone as well, isn't it? Not that I think you're an absolute mug to get on a plane at the moment, unless you've got if you're just going for a holiday in the sun, right? I think you're an absolute mug to book a plane at the moment, and all that testing costs a foot. The holiday prices are doubling. Not the holiday price. When you add on all this hundreds of pounds of tests, there's a few people out there making an awful lot of money out of this. Awful lot of money.
Absolutely. And you've got to remember that there's a lot of Polish and people out here that just basically want to go and see family. There's some people I know that's got children that they've not seen for a couple of years, and they just want to go and see their kids.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And they've got to pay all this money to these greedy sods just making all this money. Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, my sister at the moment, you say going to see the kids. Believe it or not, they are at Stansted Airport, Stansted Hotel at the moment. And tomorrow morning they're at Stansted Airport, ready to go to Cyprus. And tomorrow morning they'll be going to Cyprus to see their daughter. So that's why they're going. There is a real purpose there to going. But to actually book a plane now to go and spend a week on the sun with all the testing, and then a possibility that when you get back you've got to self-isolate for X number of days or be stuck in... I mean, can you just imagine having to sit in a hotel room for 10 days? Sod that, mate. Sod that. Yeah, you'd be bored to tears.
But there's loads of people doing it.
I know.
Loads of people love.
And it costs them...
absolutely dying to get abroad.
Costs them over £1,000 to do it.
Yeah, but they want the sea, they want the heat, they want the cheap booze, they want the nightclubs.
I don't get it. We see them on the news. Oh, we're desperate to get out of here. Desperate to get out of here. How can you be so desperate to want to go on a plane and go and sit under the sun for hours on a day and then come back burnt? It's not my idea of fun. No, not my. Mind you, each and every one's themselves. That's what some people like doing, isn't it?
Well, if it floats, your boat. But for me, I'm the same as you. They must be absolutely crazy. I've never actually been abroad.
Okay.
So I'm just quite happy living where I'm living, and I think we live in a beautiful country, and we've got plenty to see and do.
Yeah.
And I've never actually gone abroad, so I kind of scratched my head a little bit. But I've noticed that there's a hell of a lot of people jumping on this Freedom Day, which is Monday, and they can't wait to jump on a plane, you know.
Well, tomorrow I can't wait to get down to the swimming pool and have another nice busy day here doing my stuff. And that's it.
I can't follow you. I can't follow you because I mean Lincolnshire is a fantastic place to live, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh yes. Yeah. Well,
Beautiful.
I'm back down in Berkshire at the moment, but where the caravan is, I mean, the outlook from my window is just astonishing, really. And yet, you know what? The funny thing is, Leo, I've got that little veranda and a little table outside, and I never sit on the chair outside. Never. I always make myself too busy. If you see what I mean, I'm always busy doing something to not sit at a table and do nothing. If you see what I mean, and just look out into the field. Sorry,
What happened there?
pieces here. Old tin can now.
Oh. So it's quite interesting. This COVID is. The alarm bells are still ringing with a lot of us still.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I find it quite amusing with what's happening with the schools. I shouldn't find it amusing, but you can understand why it's actually taking place and happening. But also next term, which concerns me, they're doing away with all the bubbles.
Yes, they are, aren't they? Yeah, yeah.
Now, if a coach full of kids come, to our school, and one of them has comes up with a positive COVID test, the old coach, even the double deckers, have got to go into this bubble and self-isolate. The old coach does, but now it is that if you show symptoms of COVID, you'll get sent home. Just that one person.
It changes by the day, doesn't it? It changes by the day.
Yeah. So this means that the kids then can go to school and they can start coughing, on purpose, and they'll get sent home, and they know it.
Yeah.
Because there's not many kids that want to be at school at the moment.
No, they're very clever. They're very clever.
So, they go, oh, it's going to go over. So that's going to be really comical. Not comical, ha-ha, but comical, yes. You can't blame them. So it's absolutely crazy, really, isn't it?
Well, we'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. I'm not hopeful, to be honest. I'm not hopeful. Just have to see what happens tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, it's been a crazy pandemic with all what's been going off and all the different stages and all that. Yeah. And I think none of us expected it to go on for so long.
Oh, I don't know about that. When they started talking about the Spanish flu and all that business, and that lasted for 2 years, and the one before, I expected a long. I didn't expect 2 or 3 months. Certainly not.
I can remember Boris saying, "Oh, it'll all be done for Easter, and with a bit of luck, we'll only lose 10,000." I can remember that so well.
Yeah.
I can remember him saying, "Oh no, we don't need maths. We don't need maths."
And they didn't know. No one knew. I mean, the other thing is now, of course, if you go in hospital now, you've got a much better chance because, sadly, so many people have died. But those that they have managed to not die, they would have learnt from how they stopped them dying. Whereas the first people, they were, with lots of things.
We can say, can we use the word in greatest of respect? They were guinea pigs.
Yes, they were. But it's the same with all sorts of diseases, isn't it? If you're one of the first people to get that disease and you go in the hospital, well, they don't know what to do. They can try things. And then as more people, they try things. That works, that doesn't. And so you now have an advantage, sadly, of the people that died. I know you always reminds me of the terrible things that the Nazis did. I'm not a Jewish person, but... you know the story, how they were terribly treated, the Jewish people, by the Nazis. And they did all sorts of experiments on them, infected them with various diseases and things like this. And the really sad thing about it is some of us are here because of those experiments that were done on those poor Jewish people. That's how it works, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah. One of Rachel's drugs she took when she was really poorly with her Crohn's was actually made as for a warfare drug.
Mate, a warfare drug?
Yeah, it was actually made during the war or discovered,
Yes.
on those lines, ported down or whatever comes to mind.
Yes.
But, I see what you're saying, definitely, yeah. It's a bit serious, this conversation. Can we end it off in a little bit of a lighter note, Chris?
Yes, go on.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Oh, you want me to lighten it up? I can do that really simply. I can lighten up a conversation just by doing this. There you go.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't listen to all of your show.
How rude.
Has Danny rang up tonight?
Danny, no, he hasn't been on yet.
He has not been on yet.
He ain't been on yet. I've got to get through a few messages here as well. They've been kind of building up while you've been chatting away there. No, I mean, it's all right. You talk about what you want.
Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah.
All right, Leo.
Christmas ain't long now.
Thanks for calling in, sir.
Look after yourself, mate.
Bye, Leo.
Yeah. Bye.
Love to Rachel. That was a nice call, wasn't it? Leo don't usually call in. Lovely. Jeff's there. Hello, Jeff, who says, hi, Chris, you're looking well. Coat's a bit tame for you. Coat's a bit tame for you, but the shirt makes up for it. Sorry we didn't get to say adio when we left. Well, you did, actually. You did. You were packing the car as I went swimming. Would I go swimming? It was lovely to see you. Sorry we didn't get to say adios when we left Chapel, but we may meet up again, hopefully. Note the United Kingdom flags. Thank you very much, Jeff. Have you sold up yet, then, or what? What have you started the process, just as a matter of interest? Someone calling in, finishing 7-2. Hello? Hello? Anyone there? No. Okay, 7-2. You get a second opportunity. You get a second chance. If that phone wasn't working, you can try again if you want. All right. John, my first wife ran off with her neighbour. I do miss him. Oh, you are awful, John. Mandy Davenport, on the subject of weddings. Mick's first wedding cost him £10,000. Our wedding cost £1,500, and my oldest son gave me away at a wedding. That's lovely, Mandy. I think that's wonderful if your son gives you away like that. There you go. Let's try this call again. Finishing 7-2. Hello, who's on the line, please?
Hello, my love. It's John.
Hello, John. Which John?
Oh, I'm very... which John? It's John D. John.
What, John Parrish?
No, it's not, you cheeky little cow.
Oh, John McMuck something or other, isn't it? John Muck.
No, it's John Tracy.
John Tracy. Oh, hello, John. How are you?
I'm very well.
There is an awful lot of Johns. If I just explain to people who this is John Tracy. He used to be one of the boys that used to come to Heaven, where I DJ'd years ago. How lovely to hear you.
Oh, it's lovely to hear from you. It's lovely to see you as well. And, giving it large. I
haven't seen you for what? Last time was in the Two Brewers, and that must have been about 6 or 7 years ago when you came down with the blonde.
Lukey babe.
What's his name?
Lukey babe.
Luke, yeah, Luke. Are you still in contact with him? Are you?
Yeah, he's my bestie.
Oh, how lovely. Send him my best regards. You were going to become a politician at some point, weren't you? Did you ever follow that through, or what?
Oh, I'm a little bit of a nightmare on that. But Luke loved you. I mean, he thought the world of you.
Oh.
He always speaks about you.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, I know. He thinks the world of you.
What's he doing now?
He's working in. We're both actually working in the NHS. I work in NHS in frontline services, and he does mental health.
What frontline services do you do? Are you on an office or nurse or what?
I'm more office management.
Okay. You enjoy that, John?
No.
Oh, really? Is it just a job?
Yeah.
What would you rather be doing then?
What would I rather be doing? Something maybe with a bit more money.
Right.
But, you know, at the end of the day, we are where we are.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think, you know, he's doing something a lot more important than I am.
Is he? Okay.
Because he's working in mental health for people and he's supporting people.
Well, I'm surprised he's not trying to help us. We're both mental, aren't we, John? I remember when I was DJing there.
Yourself, darling.
I remember when I was DJing and you used to come and sit on that seat next to me. And if anyone dared to sit on it, you used to stand there and give them that look until they got up. You didn't actually have to say anything.
On my chair.
Eh?
They weren't allowed on my chair.
No. Oh, we had some good years there. Yeah, that was about 3 or 4 year job, that was, wasn't it? Until someone come in and mucked it all up. Oh, why did I do that?
Was that Fat Manny?
Yes. Well, I was warned about that. When I took the job on, one of the other DJs, he said, you'll probably get a few years out of this, and then someone will come in and completely muck it up for you. And it'll be nothing that you've done. And I didn't believe them. And that is exactly what happened. Exactly what happened.
Do you know, everybody loved you. I'm sorry that it didn't work out well, because, I mean, everybody loved you.
Oh, it's nice of you to say that.
Well, everybody, including Luke as well. I mean, we always talk.
Oh, have I lost you?
Hey.
Oh, you died a little bit there.
I'm going to have to head off now, but it's lovely to speak to you, darling.
You too, John. Look after yourself.
Take care.
Say hello to Luke for me. Cheerio now.
I will. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye, John. That's John there in London. Gosh, isn't that funny? It's ages since I spoke to him. Years. How funny people just appear like that. That's wonderful, that is. Thank you, John. Lovely to hear you call in there. Mike in Brighton says, hotel weddings are a huge rip-off, he says. In one hotel I worked, the wedding coordinator told me they even charged rental for the knives used to cut the wedding cake. Gosh. Shocking. Did anyone see that video of the Queen cutting a cake recently and she used the sword? And Kate said to her, you know, there's a knife. She says, oh, yes, but this is far more interesting. I'd love to meet the Queen. She's got a wicked sense of humour. Wicked sense of humour. What a wonderful woman she is, don't you think? Mike says the amount of food waste is crazy at weddings. Oh, I've seen it. The food that's chucked away at the end of weddings, shocking. Health and safety limits the length of time the buffet can be left out. My night porters loved cleaning up after weddings. Also, so many unopened bottles of wine and champagne there for the taking. I know. Whenever I finished DJing at a wedding, all this food was on the tables, cakes and everything. I used to just take whatever you want, Chris. Thank you very much. I never used to go mad. Maybe we might take a cake, perhaps, and a few sandwiches, you know, for the journey home in a little transit van, me and my mate Steve at the time. He says, on the subject of face masks, I will be leaving mine on both in work and in public places. I've had both jabs and don't feel that they provide 100% protection. Neither do I. Remember, the vaccination was developed before the Delta variant emerged. Another variant will be just around the corner. Oh, I'm sure it is. I believe vaccination's good, masks good. I've got this stuff you spray up your nose, which incidentally isn't available anymore. I don't know why that is, but that's no longer available. I've got that. I wash my hands. I've got the gel. I think you've got to do a lot of things rather than just rely on one. Bit like savings, you know. You don't put all your money in one place, do you? Bit there, bit there, bit there. So if something goes wrong, you've got the other backups, you know. I think it's the same. You've got to do several things. And the social distancing. I'll be doing all those things. Someone said to me, if you watch the karaoke streams that I do, you will have noticed the microphones being constantly cleaned between every singer. And as someone said to me, we'll be carrying on doing this week. Absolutely. Because it has to be said, and I'm sure it's the same as for you, right? I have not had a cold or any chest problems in the last year and a half. Nothing. And I've never gone through, since I was a child, I suppose, such a long period of nothing. Why is that? Because we ain't near people all the time. That's why. Okay, most of the colds and chest things, let's be honest, most of them don't kill you. But you've got to go through it and that bubbling. You know, when you get a bad chest and you're in bed and that bubbling noise, or perhaps a bit of difficulty breathing. It's not nice going through it. Well, I don't want to return to that. And I will continue to clean the microphones in between each person. Because, of course, you know, I mean, some people, you watch them using the microphone and the spit that's coming out of their mouths is awful. Awful. I could sit here and tell you those people that do that, but I wouldn't. It's not fair. It's not their fault. I mean, literally, I never forget once, I'm watching this bloke use this microphone and his spit was dripping off the microphone. Nah, I'll clean it in between every single person. Same as I'm doing now. That's not going to change. Did we do the end of that? Thank you. Vera, in regards... Here we go. Just a minute. Vera says, if you have the right people at your wedding, you can have it anywhere and have a wonderful time, no matter how much you spend. They are there for you, not the venue. I so agree, Vera. I so agree. She says, in regards to the vaccine, I met up with my mate who had long COVID. He's had the double vaccination and his family, but his son's girlfriend, who had both the vaccine and is a teacher, was tested positive. So he's had to go into isolation again. Well, this is the thing. Like I mentioned to you, that karaoke night, I was supposed to go tomorrow night to visit a place in East London. It's had to be cancelled because half of them have got COVID, including him, the bloke that has asked me to go down, who I know. I used to work with him in a bar. And he's tested positive as well. He has no symptoms whatsoever. Nothing. Not even so much as a sneeze. He just simply tested positive. Yet, no symptoms at all. Weird, isn't it, eh? Weird. Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Not started anything yet. I need to paint the fence and tidy a few things up. Yeah, Jeff, my as I mentioned last week, is my neighbour in the caravan. He's only been there about a year, but sadly, they're going to be selling it onto someone else. His lovely wife, Linda, she just can't cope with the heat. She can't cope with the heat. You can sort that out by putting in cold air, but it's not a cheap thing to do. Not really. You know, and if you're not sure whether you want to stay or not, then I kind of get that whole thing. But I will be sad to see him go. I'll be really sad to see you go, Jeff. Anyway, hello to Linda as well. And good evening to Rachel Wheatland. Evening, Rachel. She's here as well today. We haven't got through much of this list of stuff to do. I was going to say, this whole racist thing and various phobics and stuff like that, offences given to people, the old social media thing. It's all very well telling these social media people to clean things up. The trouble is, I don't think human beings deal with it. What happens, from what I see, I don't know if this is right or not, but my opinion of that whole telling the social media thing to clean up things, what they do is ban certain words. And they have algorithms. Now, they do this a lot on Facebook. How many of you have been banned for a period of time on Facebook and not really been sure why? Happens on YouTube as well. Not so much YouTube. They're fairly free speech on YouTube, which I totally go along with. But you see, you have to have free speech on all sides. If you're an advocate of free speech, you've got to have it on all sides. You know, you've got to have someone who's allowed from Al-Qaeda. What's it called? You know, the people that do the bombs. Al-Qaeda. And people like that, they've got to have their say as well. You know, don't say free speech. Oh, yeah, everyone should say, oh, but not them. You either have it or you don't. End of. Right. And YouTubers seem to be fairly good at that. Facebook, you see, I've had it before, and you get that message. You have broken our community standards, and they might send you a link, and you have a look through it, and you think, well, what part of this have I broken? And you don't know. I've had it several times. And you get blocked from sharing anything because someone has decided they don't like the words you say. It seems to me on the Facebook thing, it only takes one person to complain, bang, you're stopped from doing that. And you're like, why have I been stopped doing that? You know I don't like Facebook. I don't like it at all. Who the hell do they think they are where they decide what you can say and what you can't say? Who the hell do you think you are? And I'm only on there to advertise the things I do. That's the only reason I'm on Facebook. You know, and all this kind crap that they come out with. You know, some of the worst people for unkindness are those people that put up there, be kind. What they mean is that they have an opinion of something and they don't like your opinion of it. Therefore, you are not kind. I don't think so. Don't think so. So that whole clean up the internet thing, if they're doing it with algorithms, and you see, even if they're doing it with people, you might think what you've said is completely fine, no problem at all. Wasn't, if, some people would argue, if you've taken offence, that's down to you. The person saying it, people don't get irony anymore. That's where you say something, or satire. It's where you say something, but you don't actually mean it. It's just a little bit of a joke. Take, for example, stuff on Little Britain and the Catherine Tate show. When I post up that video of Nan later, you will die. You will absolutely die. It's a TikTok video, and I'll put it on my Facebook wall after the show. Watch it. She's hilarious. And you can see the two hosts who are as woke as anything. Oh, wokery, dear. They are as woke as anything, and they really don't know what to say. It's hilarious. I'll post it up a little bit later. But with telling the social media companies, whether it's the algorithm gets a lot of people. You have broken our community standards. Or what did I say? And you have no comeback. You can appeal this decision here, and then you type something back. You never hear anything else, or you get an automated response. How dare you restrict people just because you don't agree with their opinion? I think it's so wrong, I really do. So wrong. Where's our other text? Evening to Gary Butler. Evening, Gary. Nephew Gary Butler is in the house. Hello to you. There you go. Roy Brownlow. I've got my own naughty step in Facebook. Been bad so often for nothing. Exactly. That's what I say. It's either an algorithm, whether they pick up certain words or things like that. I don't know. George is on the line. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Chris.
All right. How are you today?
Fine. I just called in quickly. You were talking about weddings.
Weddings, yes.
Yes. I gave my nan. I gave my mum away.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice thing to do. Was your nan there as well at the time?
No.
Oh. She don't seem to come out the house much.
She does.
Does she?
Yes.
Is she watching tonight?
No.
Oh. Don't you think she'd like to watch this show?
No. Not hear my voice on here.
Eh?
Not hear my voice on here.
Not hear your voice?
Yeah.
Why not?
On here. To talk to you.
You've got a nice voice.
No, I don't.
Yes, you have. Can you sing as well, George? Sing us a song.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
Oh, hang on a minute. Just a minute. Wait till you sing that. Hang on a minute. Just a minute. Okay, can you sing that again now, please?
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long.
Oh, George, I had my Lego bus out then while you were doing that. I love it. Thank you, George.
Okay, Chris. Bye.
Have a nice evening. Bye-bye, George. We do like a little bit of a sing-song sometimes, gang. Where are we? That's it. Okay. So just going back there, that's a social media thing, I think, When you say clean them up, it won't be done properly. You either have free speech or you don't. I don't like this constantly attacking people, though. Some people are absolutely vile. Keyboard warriors, vile. There's one here. Jake Quickenden. Now, I'm not quite... is he an actor or something? I don't know who Jake Quickenden... I know the name, but I don't know what he does. And some awful person was bombarded with vile tweets from an account called Jake Quickenden's Baby is Ugly. Why would you do that? I don't understand what gets into people's sad heads that they think they can hide behind a keyboard and start sending horrible messages to people like that. You know, that's the sort of thing you want banned, isn't it? Stopping people doing that. And quite honestly, why would you say that about a child? Doesn't matter what they look like. You wouldn't say a little baby is ugly, would it? Oh, look at that ugly baby. What an awful thing to do. It says one tweet from the account, which has now been deleted, said his son should die because he was ugly. What an awful thing to do. You see, I do feel someone like that should be caught and nicked. I really do. Anyway, that's the whole social media thing. Amelia says, I'm going to my ex's sister's wedding on the 31st of July. It's my first wedding I've been to. And then I'm going to a lesbian wedding in August. Okay. Oh, I've got a wedding, actually, I'm going to in August, funnily enough. When's that? No, that's in Greenwich. Oh, I'm going to have to pay for parking. Pay for parking. Hope I get a meal. 19th of August. Vera, are you going to that? That's Matt and John. Are you invited to that? Matt and John's wedding at in Greenwich. Be all right, won't it? Mike in Brighton. Play School Revisited with Chris and George. The wheels on the bus go round and round. We love it. Mike says, I've missed your shows. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mike. Oh, by the way, could you put your nose out for karaoke's in Brighton, please? If you could, if you would, Mike. I know you said you would. You might have done it already. And perhaps nothing's coming out there, but Wesley. Crazy things people are getting nicked for. Now, this kind of ties in with the whole social media thing as well. But there are just times where you hear someone's been nicked for something or banned for something else, and you think, why is that? And I don't remember over the years that we've had all this crap with the wokery and all that business. This is in the Daily Mail. It says a man has been landed with a police record for racial hatred for whistling Bob the Builder theme tune at his neighbour. Now, what is racially hateful about Bob the Builder? I don't get it. Am I being a bit thick here? Because I don't get that. Officers at Bedfordshire recorded the incident as a non-crime hate incident. Well, that's a new one for me. A non-crime hate incident, which will remain on file for 6 years and could be disclosed to prospective employees. Few other details about the crime are known, but it's just one of the bizarre cases unearthed by an investigation into controversial practice of recording hate incidents, even if no law has been broken. Others include a swimming teacher in West Yorkshire given a police record after a child's mother claimed her son had been allowed to bang his head against the side of the pool due to his ethnicity. I mean, where is the story there? Let me read that again. Others include a swimming teacher in West Yorkshire given a police record after a child's mother claimed her son had been allowed to bang his head against the side of the pool due to his ethnicity. I don't get the sentence. I can't work out what that means even. And another one, a gay man who alleged he had been ripped off by a drug dealer because of his sexuality. So you weren't just ripped off like anyone normal. It's because you were gay, is it? What a load of crap. In Norfolk, a Portuguese national said an unknown person... These are all recorded in the police books. At the same time as your neighbours getting burgled. Yeah, they're too busy doing these forms. In Norfolk, a Portuguese national said an unknown person had deliberately left a burger bun on their driveway due to their ethnicity. A burger bun? How does the whole burger bun Portuguese people tie up with each other? These people are thick as planks, aren't they? Absolutely thick. Under the hate crime operational guidelines adopted in 2014, forces are required to record any action deemed to be motivated by an element of hate, even if there is no evidence to prove them. I just despair at what's going on with society around me. I really do. And I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I don't know if there is actually very small amount of these sort of people who are constantly moaning and offended, but the television focuses on them rather than what's really going on around, what normal people do and talk about. I quite like that Alex Belfield, as you know, he's got a YouTube channel. Look him up, Alex Belfield. He swears a bit and he's a bit right in your face, but he talks an awful lot of common sense. And he has a lot of viewers. You know. So we're not on our own. Andy says that my girlfriend's sister upset us when we had first son's girlfriend. My girlfriend's sister upset us when we had first son's girlfriend's sister turned round and said, "Oh no, he ain't ugly," after my girlfriend nearly died during giving birth. She's never forgiven her. Oh no, ain't he ugly? Oh, why would you do that? Do you remember when possibly your nan or someone like that said to you, if you've got nothing nice to say nothing? Do you remember that one? Why would you say a child is ugly? Different. I think different perhaps is another word perhaps you could use. Different. No, if they don't look the same as other babies, of which some babies don't. But they're still babies, still little human beings. How could you ever say a child is ugly? Mike in Brighton, utter nonsense, that Bob the Builder story. If you're not breaking the law, then no crime has been committed. End of. Give me strength. Well, you know, again, another old saying, Mike, and I'm sure you remember, is, sticks and stones will break my bones, bad words will never hurt me. You remember that one? What happened to that one? Oh, so many thick people around, I tell you. I can't bear them. Can't bear them. I'm going to go now because I want hot dogs. I've got hot dogs downstairs. We were a little bit serious there, weren't we, this evening? I think that was turned around by Leo, to be honest. Thank you, Leo. Phone lines closed now. Don't call in. You won't be charged, but you won't get answered either. That's what they say. You will not be charged, but you will be answered either. Okay, thanks so much for joining us. If you're around later on, my friends on the radio, Alan Ross, I've got a new Amazon speaker now in my hallway. Yeah, so I've got bedroom, hallway, kitchen and living room now. Fabulous, isn't it, eh? I can listen all around the house. So reach on here. Alan Ross on there from midnight tonight. I'll be on there as well on that station tomorrow morning. Look at that. Okay. Tomorrow morning, just after 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday the 19th of July, I'll be on the air on Reach On Air. Listen online on your mobile phone. You can even ask Siri. She'd just play it. Just say, hey, Siri, play Reach On Air, and she'd just play it. It's marvellous. All right. So easy to listen to all those things there. And that's it for the show. Thanks very much for joining us. Could you just hit the like button on your way up, please? And that's much appreciated. There'll be another chat show for you on Tuesday night. I think it's Tuesday night. Tuesday night at 8 o'clock is our next chat show on this channel. Have a lovely evening. Thanks for watching and listening. Cheerio.